Yo, welcome back to the project. Remind myself, cameras over here. Doesn't really matter actually by catching this side of me. Hopefully the mic is not too loud. It's been a while since I've done this. I apologize if I don't have the same flair that I used to, but that's okay. I don't think that's important. What's important right now is that, yeah, I've changed a lot actually over the past couple weeks, if not a month or two. Um, Most likely the recordings that you've been watching on Spotify, and to the few people who have been watching or listening actually as a podcast over on Spotify, on Podbean. Apparently Podbean's at the top one, Deezer, from the States, from Portugal, from Canada. Thank you for listening. Thank you to, it seems like I think NBA Young Cousins one of them. Thank you for listening. I just wanted to say that obviously if you can't tell, my YouTube videos have stopped. I have stopped uploading, not permanently, it's just for the next couple weeks, if not maybe a month or so, and it's going to continue for that stretch, most likely because I have mentioned previously, dabbled into it, that there's been a crisis I've been obviously tending to. It's very obvious. It's a very comprehensive, expansive crisis. Most crises are expansive, right? It attacks your finance, relationship, housing, everything. Anyways, point is, things are getting better, but there's a lot of, I'm just, completely busy. And this is fairly normal for everyone at this particular stage in life. Have so much going on. Everyone has so much going on. So I just want to say that, of course, most likely, as I have predated a lot of the previous uploads, so I was actually ahead, as I mentioned, right, by about a month and a half, at one point up to 2.5 months, so at least about 8 weeks advance of podcasts uploaded over onto Spotify. And Spotify is the podcasts on Deezer, on Podbean, on Spotify, or on Apple iTunes are way ahead of what's being uploaded on YouTube. Or YouTube is ahead, actually, sorry. Same thing, but the podcasts over on Spotify are backdated, right? So they just keep uploading, and then even when YouTube stops, because YouTube is more recent, more up to date than Spotify, and Spotify is still uploading the episodes recorded from a previous time. For the listeners there, I think you can expect that probably within the next week or two. I think all of the pre-batch uploaded episodes will start to cease. Doesn't mean I will disappear from this planet, of course not. Most likely, as soon as I get back into the swing of things, I'll be able to start all over again. Not start all over again, just continue where we left off. But things will be very different, because obviously I'm very different now. Phenomenal changes can happen. The amount of growth you can have within a couple weeks, months is huge. So I just wanted to say that basically there's a bit of a halt. You can probably tell if you're watching this on YouTube, if I have uploaded it at all. It probably look different. My demeanor is a bit different. And I'm more sane, I feel, than ever before. And we will cover all these topics because this is a very, very, very practical video podcast live stream project. And so thank you for tuning in. Really, really am thankful. So grateful to the guy. Apparently there's like women watching this too. So to men and women out there in the States, in Portugal and Canada, thank you for dropping by. I appreciate that. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening on the drives out and back and forth from work, because this is supposed to be 9 to 5 podcast when you're going on commutes. It's also just for any other reason really that you feel you could glean something from this and benefit from this in some sort of way, whether it's therapeutic for you, whether you just like having something in the background, or whether you can relate to some of the stories here as fulfilling, maybe you're just bored and you just don't have anything else better to do. I don't know what purpose serves you, but thank you for dropping by. So I'm going to run through in this video, this podcast episode, what the plan was for all the things I want to get done in this room that I most likely will not be able to do before I leave the stream. Okay, so it's about 9:30, for example. Right now, I'm being very real, down to earth, because there's a curfew. I'm working tomorrow. I've been working. This is another reason why I haven't been able to punch. Obviously, I've been dealing with some HVAC issues, so heating, cooling at my new unit. Has been a water leakage. I've been to move in. I have a shelter now that I sleep at. There's a curfew for that as well. I got case managers from different organizations, including the shelter. I am, also going to the library still, continuously updating administrative stuff. And then, of course, there's this project, which has been in the back burner, as well as my side business in biocellular nutrition, also in the back burner. But every month I still see my team. And then there's a lot of friends, churchgoers even, like a reverend, and I've mentioned that before, who I still keep in touch with. And there's a lot of traveling, so because now I have a storage unit, I have a shelter, I have a residence, I have this place which I say is pretty much off limits. I only come here to record what's in this room. And then there's a fifth place as well, which I can't even remember where it was now. But there's so many. Oh yeah, this goes back to my roots, where in my area they call it, for example, like West Yorkshire, you could say. That's one district of the greater city. I just made that up. West Yorkshire does not exist, I don't believe, in this world, on the planet Earth. But if it does, whatever.
Ask him how to set the thermostat.
So I have a place now back to my roots, and so it's great. I have so many places now, actually. I always used to say the city is my home because I don't actually have a home. That's the way I grew up. So anyways, I'm really good. And then I have work. I'm working. That's also, I guess, a new development. There's so many new things. Support group, there's there's so many things. So as you can see, here I'm overwhelmed, I'm swamped, and I want to get back to you guys because all this stuff is juicy stuff. I know it sounds boring. You're like, guys, this is just life. What is this juicy? Damn, this is not juicy. This is just stressful. It's just stressful. It's not fucking stressful, dog. No, it's actually fun. Life is fun. Life is good, Sorry, it's that to No, I'm not sorry. Obviously, there's that stupid ad right there, Spotify. No, for real. No, it's fun. It's fun. It's good. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going down, but it's you can make the best of it for sure. Every one of these things sounds like it's gonna drag you down. Just like sounds weighted. Oh, you gotta deal with housing. You gotta deal with mortgage. You gotta deal with this. You gotta deal with that. You gotta deal with work. How's that fun? No, guys, you can actually enjoy this. You can enjoy the learning process. You can enjoy meeting new people. You can just, but of course, I'm not trying to pretend it's like rainbows and ponytails and whatever. For sure, there are challenges. Every single one of these is just a challenge. And, going to work is a challenge. Going to start your business challenge. Doing the podcast, the crisis, the shelter. These are all challenges, of course. When is it not a challenge? Life is nothing but a challenge for the most part, right? So just want to say that, of course, I still have, I guess, a productive and sort of fun outlook on life still. And that's never, that's not never, but it has benefited me. I can't say never because sometimes it's worked against me, for sure. You don't want to look at the world with rose-tinted glasses. So, that's a lot of stuff, right? So let's run through, I think 10 episodes I would have liked to get done. They were supposed to wrap up this entire room, which was the process. I was in the process of doing that, right? Yeah, I'm putting my hands up. I'm just gonna wipe here. I feel sick a little bit. Very real. Okay? Totally, I'm being very genuine to you guys, of course. It's always been like that, but I think I'm more genuine than ever been so far. Okay, it makes things a little bit boring. That's why I don't know what you guys think about that. You can leave some feedback in the comments again on YouTube if you want, or on the Discord. So 10 things. I want to do 10, not things, but 10. Obviously, there's like 100 things, but you group them into clusters. So, it's like 1,000 things grouped into 10 into clusters of 100. So, for example, the number one thing I want to get done. So, I'm going to move the camera. Hopefully, it doesn't fuck up, but as with most things, it probably will. Down here on the floor, we have this garbage here. Video 1 was probably to cover the receipts. 2 was probably to cover all the garbage. And then the garbage, when I say food, again, it's always receipts, and the garbage here always cover like groceries and fast food and restaurants, usually with focus on finance as the domain of life, basic survival needs like food, and then also one of the most fulfilling aspects, the experiences you gain with your friends, your network, your colleagues, my manager, my whatever, your partners. If you have kids, it's already grown up for me. Long story there. So that was what? 2. 2 was supposed to be over here on the right hand side. I know the camera sucks right now. The laptop's supposed to be we'll talk about the laptop next, I guess. Over here you see this little cage, that white cage on top, everything on top, which is basically nothing, but its purpose was fulfilled in a lot of ways. It's not my item, but I'm supposed to return it. There's some stuff on top as well. So the cage area is like region D something, as well as clothing on top, and garbage and used clothing, as well as the equipment. I've already moved away. So this kind of area here, with including like some sandals on the floor right there, as well as the shoe box. So all this stuff is kind of one area around the cage. It's like a storage place that was another area I wanted to get rid of. It's supposed to be a separate video as well. While I'm holding on the camera, I want to just turn it towards the desk. So obviously the desk area was supposed to be finished, but I wanted to really cover after I had removed the laptop, as well as all this gear here, and recycled these lights here. And so for the most part, the desk, once I had cleared everything and then I put it on the side, the intention was to make a video covering the things that I will be working with a moving company. It's actually a volunteer moving company for domestic abuse survivors, and so on and so forth. It's again, it's a crisis. So anyways, and again, I want to talk about these sorts of services in the future because it may benefit some of you. Again, it's very practical, very down to earth. I know life has a lot of challenges, and the whole point of this kind of podcast is to help you guys through it. Or not, I can't help you. I will never advise, right? But of course, is to divulge resources that are available here that you can find analogs in your own city or your own country. That's another purpose to this project, to Project Jira, to Slice of Life, and then the other thing, of course, the laptop itself, I have at least, if you can believe it, 550 browser tabs open. So on what's that all cover? Obviously, all sorts of stuff, from the project to finance to banking to media to to socials to email, and all that kind of stuff, to device updates, all that stuff also be covered. So that's like 4 topics right already. Now the last one wasn't really physical, obviously, I mentioned. Next, at the very far back, I'm gonna move out of the way. You can see there's the closet, of course, naturally. And the closet, there's some stuff there that needs to be moved as well. Not very much, mind you. It's like basically empty. And the cart's blocking the way, but basically it's pretty much empty. And inside there's like a coat hanger, there's a fax machine. That was a gift from a colleague of mine, fantastic colleague. Again, I enjoyed working there for certain people. Some of my colleagues were great, some of them were not so great. Just like all companies, even in the new organizations I'm working with right now. So yeah, I miss her, I do. Anyways, at the top there's the camera, security camera, right, all that kind of stuff. So we just wanted to clear another area. The closet was supposed to be, I guess, like, for example, not the fifth, but it's supposed to be, I guess, right now number 5 of what we're supposed to cover. Okay. So what if we have, for example, tilted the bed over, right? I mean, tilted the desk over, have emptying it, as well as the standing desk, and made a video about that. Most likely at the same time, or in a separate video, we would cover also the bed, the mattress. So the whole reason in covering, making 1 or 2 video podcasts, so I guess we're at number 6 now, it's not in the same order, obviously, is because we need to send some photographs to the volunteer moving company that is in connection with the caseworker, that is with the community I'm working with. So obviously they can get a good feel of the logistics, which is a large items, sharp edges, you know, that kind of stuff, and take photographs of everything once I set it up, and then send it over by email, and then, you know, coordinate and hear the dimension. You know, do we need any dome equipment? There a specified day, time during the night where it should happen or in the morning. So timing is important for a lot of these cases. It can be dangerous places that they go to. These are really good Samaritans, by the way, working in these organizations, obviously. Some of these go to alcoholic or drunk or indebted or violent households, and they save people by moving them out obscurely. So blessings then. Okay, next. That's 6, 7 down here on the right hand side. Okay. We have also some, I think there's only 3 topics left. So under here there's the break. Then also at the same time, I think that's related to the stuff that's on the table and the drawer. So this drawer here has electronics, as well as inside that crate there's some space for extra electronics. I believe I want to fit inside like a 2-3 inch high layer. So we would take the electronics, the stuff on the desk, and try to squeeze it inside this drawer and set it box, and then move it out using that cart. So that cart is connected with that box, connected with this drawer, all that stuff moved to storage, which is all this, you know, stuff on the table, so that we can clear it up. Mind you, there is some stuff at the very back there too. So there's a bag here, a bag of bags that should also go, as well as that should also go. So that's also, I guess, another separate video. And then at the very back, in front of closet, I think I should have mentioned this might be included with closet, where my fingers are right now. You barely see it's like very small on the screen because it's so far back, but there's a bunch of hygiene stuff like Lysol, you know, Lysol disinfectant spray, you spray it around. There's also, you know, toothpaste and toothbrush and stuff like that. So all that kind of stuff, floss. And then there's some, you know, broken socks that have been washed. Just like putting there to wipe down anything. So I was going to clean up this room before I leave, but I realized that they don't even deserve that kind of good service, or because it's never been reciprocated in the first place. So I might just leave it the way it is. I don't know. Maybe I'll do what I do. Maybe I will clean that. I don't know. But the point is that still needs to go. All right, because I need to use that and clean up the new place as well. So that might be a separate topic, separate video, or it might be included. So we're at like 9 sort of video podcasts now, and the last 2, I think. There's this back bench here, right? The back bench should be included, that I'm sitting on, with the bed, the back bench, the standing desk, and an overall office table are 4 large items, again, that come grouped together. Gotta take photographs, sent to the moving company. Last one, I think, is the last one. And for the record, this mic here, right, this mic, which is I think this is a hallmark. This mic is amazing because it is not just a good friend. I know I'm personifying objects and making me, you know, copium isn't a thing anymore, it's dead meme, but the fact is, gaming is dead now, guys. Families and kids now. So anyways, this is this mic, of course, has been always a feature that I include in my video podcasts because it just looks nice. The HyperX podcast, I always love it. This obviously will also be put inside of the box or the cart there. I'll stand alone and just move it up. Again, it's part of the office setup, all the stuff on top. Okay, so the last thing we have then are the products for the nutritional and cellular research business. So on the side here we have this can't see it, this box, and inside there's a bunch of product as well as papers and learning materials and updated brochures and promotional items, as well as new product research. So all that stuff, again, to be taken and put in storage. Okay. I'm just out of breath now. You can tell I'm doing this on the fly. I didn't really plan on. And then there's actually another. I actually hit up my team leader, who's a great friend of mine. We always go out, like me and her husband. Like, we're so tight knit. She has her family and her kids, and includes me almost like family as well. Fantastic person. Many years. Retired as a registered nurse. We call it RN up here in my country. So I think is that international code? I don't know. But RN. And then the husband's a researcher and has worked with some very well-renowned scientists back in the day. So these are the scientists you read in your grade 11, grade 12 biology textbook when you're in high school. He has worked with some of those like big names. Anyways, so with that being said, there was supposed to be another package of this, but again, probably not gonna get to that. So with that being said, I think that's everything. The only thing left is to say that, in my pockets right now, there is some extra stuff that, of course, have accumulated, and some of it is actually in the new unit. So what my plan is to actually go to the new unit, and once everything's set up there, once the moving is done, we can start just recording new items over there, and then we'll have a new area for podcast. Same thing with I just wanted to mention there was probably going to be an 11th video podcast here on administrative papers and stuff like that have come. That's new documentation. There's a lot of that, but we probably won't cover that until the next, again, things are settled down. There's correspondence and memos. This one's from insurance. This one's from shelter. These are just receipts. So a lot of that kind of stuff. So with that being said, though, now I don't know what the format will be, because you can tell that this is a very transformative phase. Once again, there have been so many points of what I call, evolution. You can think of, like, you can go way back if you want to be a little kid about it and be like, oh, Digimon's Digivolve, or you want to go take a more scientific, technical evolutionary evolution, biological evolution, or you want to take like a complex network, philosophical stance and be like, oh, things evolve, or business stance and things, transformative, lean, Six Sigma, whatever, agile, right? Sure, whatever. But the point is, there have been so many pivotal points. Some are clustered together, and then there's rapid change. Back. The Armor Project.
I just got the legendary iPhone 14 with the nationwide unlimited plan from Freedom Mobile, and the camera's so good, I'm not ashamed to like my own posts.
So
that one's getting a heart emoji. Conditions
I don't know
apply.
where it's
Details at freedommobile.ca.
I don't know what's going to be named next. I don't know if it's going to, maybe I'm going to continue using the same name, but I know certainly the format's most likely going to change a bit. I do believe that the format is going to change.
But ask him about prostate cancer, and like many men,
advertisements always get away. I noticed that, once again, I'm not enunciating myself properly. I'm speaking a little bit quickly. I'm sorry you have to rewind, especially during the advertisements. That I forget to sometimes censor out the video. Okay, so with that being said, it's a 25 minute, looks like. It's going to be probably the last one for a good while, not forever. I don't want, I guess, to like pop out and leave, because the truth is I'll be back in like probably a couple of weeks. But do know that, well, maybe it's for the best. Maybe you guys should just go, and then let's see what happens afterwards. Maybe it'll be fresh new people. I don't know. Because most likely that format may change. I don't know. It's all in the air right now. Okay. So, but that's also, of course, as life would tell you, throughout life, it's always like this. I always speak like one of these, always say the joke now with my new colleagues and new caseworkers and so on and so forth is always that I'm a 75-year-old man stuck trapped in a 30-year-old body, maybe older than 75, honestly. I've met some really immature 75-year-olds. In fact, one of this inside this household right now, so to speak, that's made me had to leave because of the intense harassment. So with that being said, yeah, right? It's kind of crazy. Well, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But the point is, I am like really speaking in abstract terms here because, uh, one of those life lessons you learn, of course, is every cliche, but you know, every, you know, is it a loss? No, it's the start of a new opportunity, right? The end of one venture is the start of a new opportunity. And it's nothing complex, not a big revelation or anything like that, but it's something to keep in mind for every challenge that you meet that you feel you have not overcome. Most likely, there are better things ahead of you as well. Not most likely, sometimes. Okay, I don't want to make it seem like there always is a good outcome or a good solution, because sometimes there isn't, but sometimes there is. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to end this. Thanks for tuning in to Slice of Life, Grandpa's Slice of Life, the Hour Project, Once Upon a Time, Project Jira, self-therapeutic multimedia project, and so on and so forth. So this is signing out. Thanks for tuning in, or Zhirovsky, as I use more commonly nowadays. So Rishiv, Zhirovsky signing out. Thank you for tuning in. To all the listeners, bless you. Thank you. In my thoughts and prayers, whichever, whether you're religious or spiritual or otherwise, or agnostic. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. I don't know specifically when, but I'm going to place the mark because it helps to have a deadline. I'll tell you guys that I'm going to say within 3 weeks of this video episode posting, should be able to be back into the game. That's what to expect, but it's hard to tell. Okay, I'm just giving a concrete date because it always helps, but we'll see. See you then. Take care.